Today on r/IDontWorkHereLady. Where's your manager? I want to start this off with some background. I work near a Walmart and a GameStop. And as someone who has subscribed to the if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're missing out mentality. I tend to arrive 30 minutes early to my shift. This allows me to relax and mentally prepare to become a customer service person. I'm also a person who doesn't take kindly to being treated rudely, and will often match energy when not at work. On this day, I had gotten to where I worked at least 45 minutes early, and was going to pick up a few things, namely feminine items and some ibuprofen. My manager had asked me to grab her lunch for her from the attached Subway, and I also wanted to have a sandwich. As I'm ordering through the Subway app, a woman, henceforth Karen, approached me and asked if I knew where something was. Me. I'm sorry, I know a general area but not exactly where it is. Karen. Well, don't you work here? You're wearing a lanyard and using one of those things that other employees use. My lanyard is clearly not a Walmart lanyard, and I am wearing two of them. But one has my GameStop name card on it, the other has keys. Me. No, I don't work here. Karen. Yes, you do. Where's your customer service? Me, looking at my watch and beginning to match this Karen's energy. Well, it's about 30 minutes away and not here. Karen. Don't you take an attitude with me, girl? I'm a customer. Me. Cool. Cool. So am I. Now let me go pay for my pads and ibuprofen. I go to walk off but am grabbed by the Karen. Karen, where the heck is your manager? I hold up my GameStop name card to her face. Me at GameStop. Karen, why are they at GameStop? Me, because I work at GameStop, not here at Walmart. I finally was able to walk away, and I head for the checkout to pay for my items. Then I go to the Subway and pick up mine and my manager's sandwiches. The Karen never did try to come into my store to complain to my manager, but I'm almost certain that if she did, I wouldn't have gotten into trouble. For our next story. It happens a lot, actually. I'm on the other side of this subreddit. Years ago, I am on a work trip in Vegas with my two supervisors. It's my first trip to Vegas, first trip with the company, and first day on the new job. My supervisors tell me that they like to party hard when on work trips because they are straight-laced at home, and well, what happens in Vegas stays there. First night, I'm trying to keep up with these two guys. They are 20 and 30 years older than me. Younger boss, YB big guy, 6'6", 275 pounds, starts his night with an 18-pack of beer. Older boss, OB, I still believe was a raging alcoholic, and starts his day with a bottle of Captain Morgan. I'm the 22-year-old guy at this point, nervous, so I'm taking it easy. End of the night, around midnight-ish, early for Vegas, they finally decide to get dinner. YB points us to a Benihana-style restaurant, and we spend far too much money, as he's buying drinks for the table. I'm stuck with the bill as YB and OB stagger out the door without even thinking twice about paying. YB decides that we are close enough to our hotel that we can just walk the strip. I'm lost, so I can't argue. After what feels like an hour of herding these two drunk cats down the strip, they finally relent and decide, let's get a taxi. At this point, we are at a convenience store parking lot, and this car skates up alongside us, and YB and OB open the back door and climb in. YB, take us to XYZ Hotel. Cabby, you know that's right around the corner, right? YB, yeah, but I'm tired and I don't want to walk. Cabby, okay, whatever. I close the door, and we are driven around the corner, which was about a minute to two at most. YB and OB jump out of the car, stagger into the hotel, and I'm once again stuck with the bill. Then I notice it. There's no meter. Me. Dude, you don't have a meter. How much do I owe you? Cabby. Whatever you feel like. I'm not a cab. Me. Holy crap, I'm so sorry. Why on earth did you let us just jump in your random car? No problem. It happens a lot, actually. I paid the guy a couple of $20 bills and apologized again. So yeah, I'm the hey lady, do you work here, guy? Let's dive into our next story. Only the blind would think I was in store uniform. Many years ago, I did side work fixing people's personal computers. If it was a hardware issue, I would diagnose it for them. If it was software and OS related, I generally fixed it for them. I also had a huge collection of what would be called NSW t-shirts. Supplied for friends and relatives that were curious to see how outrageous a shirt had to be before I wouldn't be seen in public wearing it. Since they avoided outright racism, misogyny, bigotry, they never found the limit. One day, someone I knew asked me if I could fix their kid's PC. Turned out the kid had discovered corn and game cheat sites, and the resulting malware infestation was bogging it down. I fixed the thing, installed some decent antivirus software, and arranged to drop it off at the guy's place of work, a large grocery chain, since I was driving by there early one weekend morning on the way to help my sister with some remodeling work. I stopped in, and he was doing morning inventory of the meat cast, so he asked me to just drop it off on the meat manager's desk. I did so, and then went to pick up snacks for the road. A woman about my age comes up to me when I'm on the chip aisle and starts yelling at me about the large amount of missing product. I asked her why she was telling me this, and her answer was, "You are wearing the uniform." Male employees of this company generally wore either a gray polo with company logo, or a white button-down shirt and tie, dark-colored slacks, a navy blue apron, and black shoes or boots. I was wearing scuffed brown boots, stained and torn blue jeans, and a shirt inspired by a Jack Drude t-shirt my brother-in-law had given me. If you haven't read Simon Green's Secret Histories, sorry. I just asked her what part of my clothing looked remotely like the employee uniform and walked off. A few minutes later I walked by customer service and she was yelling at the staff about the rude and unhelpful employee on the chip aisle. I stopped for a second. She says, "That's him." I just told the staff I was hoping to save them time, paid, and left. She was still yelling when I went out the door. On to the next story. Can I get a glass of wine? Okay. Was visiting a buddy several years ago so we could work from home while our wives were on separate work trips. For lunch we walked to this amazing barbecue spot for some brisket and beers. I'm wearing a black cap and black t-shirt that says Pig Fiction with a hog holding a gun like Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction. We are sitting outside and the table next to us is two tourist women talking about what to sight to see next. Lunch is amazing but our beers run out. There seems to be a hole in the cup or something, I don't know. I get up and ask my buddy what beer he wants. The two women at the table next to us turn around and are looking at me. My buddy tells me the next pints we're having, and I tell him coming right up. Lady clears her throat and is like, "Can I get a glass of wine?" Her friend says, "And I'll have a Diet Coke." I freeze for a second to think what to say. Clearly they think I work here, especially with the WFH scruff that a seasoned pitmaster would have. Also, I love to bask in awkward social situations. I tell them, "Okay," and start to walk away. My hesitation must have given it away because she soon realized I don't work there, and as I was walking to the bar she laughingly called me back and questions if I actually work there. No, I don't. I ended up getting their drinks anyways because I was in a good mood. They got us our third and final lunch pint before we walked back home to finish WFH. It was probably the only time I was mistaken for staff, and made for a fun memory. For our next story. Old man thinks I'm a taxi driver. Reading these stories on this sub for a while but never posted anything before. Have had some stories in the past, but this one was just weird. Small context: I'm in my early 20s and work in management in a hotel in Australia and was wearing a beige suit, white shirt with no tie and a Frankenstein and creature pin on my jacket. I was walking over to a different hotel across the street to have a quick catch-up with their F&B manager, and was about to enter through a revolving door when old mate, looked around 60, let's call him OM, with his bags comes walking out as I go to enter. He looks at me as I walk past him and then looks at a taxi parked out front, and he stops me from entering the door, and the interaction goes like this. OM, do you have any passengers? Me? Sorry? Are you taking anyone at the moment or can I just jump in? As he points at the taxi. Me, I'm sorry mate, I don't understand. Can I help you? Yeah, can you take my bags? And he points towards the taxi again and tries to give me his bags. Me, I think you've got me confused with a taxi driver mate. That ain't mine, as I shake my head and wriggle around him to walk into the hotel. He scoffs as I was entering and says something under his breath and then walks towards the taxi. I really don't understand some of these older people. I'm fairly used to people stopping to ask for directions on how to get to places, as the street I work on can be a little confusing, and of course customer service standards of a hotel. But this interaction was definitely the weirdest for me. I was in no way dressed like a taxi driver nor wearing anything remotely similar to the uniform of the hotel I was trying to enter. Some people just need to find a new supplier for common sense. Our last story for today. Not an online taxi driver. So this happened a few years ago before COVID. I was driving my white Mazda CX-5. It isn't the most expensive car around, but it is quite expensive in my country, and I never see anyone drive it as an online taxi. It was afternoon and I just drive back with my wife from lunch. The road I passed through was quite small. It was two-ways road with exact 2 cars wide, meaning not even a bike can pass through when 2 cars are passing side by side, so need to be careful when there are other cars from the other direction. So the thing is, street parking is quite common in the road, especially near the temple. So when 2 cars pass through, one of us has to stop behind a parked car and let the other guy pass first, since the road is small. I stopped by in front of a temple gate, since it is forbidden to park in front of the temple, to make way for the other car going from the other directions to pass me, and then I can overtake the parked cars to go on my way. Imagine how surprised I was when the back door was tried to be opened. My first reaction was a carjack. Then I look at the mirror and two old ladies was trying to open the door. Then I realized they might mistaken me to an online taxi, Uber-like but not Uber, despite my car isn't a common car for used as a taxi. So I moved slowly to remind them I am not the Uber. They finally stopped trying to open my back door. I was moving slowly since I was curious what kind of Uber they ordered. I saw a cheap, lowest price, kind of car. Same color, white, stopped in front of the old ladies. I was wondering that I should just let them in and drive them to their destinations and make a joke about it. And those are all the stories we have for today. See you tomorrow.